we all know Revelstoke's got some crazy terrain. So is it worth it for intermediates? The weekend warriors, maybe you're new, maybe you haven't been out in a while. Are you going to get your money's worth? Is it going to be overwhelming? So let's take a look and we'll figure it out.
Let's zoom in on Revelstoke, between Calgary and Vancouver roughly. It's pretty isolated in this little mountain valley, and the resort is about a 5-minute drive from the town itself. So we took the route from Calgary, beautiful drive through the mountains. Roads can get a little crazy, so take it easy when you drive up there. Try to drive in the daytime, use good tires, good vehicle. So this is our accommodations right in the little town itself. Place had everything we need. We had our own rooms, our own bathrooms, and it was pretty reasonably priced, and we stocked up so we could make lunches for the hill, save money there, had a full kitchen, a washer, dryer, everything. So in general, just very comfortable accommodations that you'll need after a big day on the hill. So now let's take a look at the mountain itself. As mentioned, it's about a 5-minute drive from the town. And you'll park and go to the gondola. It's a pretty small area in terms of buildings and infrastructure at the bottom, especially compared to the big guys like Whistler, etc. They have this interesting gondola setup where you do a small leg first, and then the second leg, which at first I didn't think made any sense, but because it can be pretty warm and not a lot of snow at the very bottom, you'll download from that second leg at the end of your day. That's kind of how we did it for this trip anyways. Bit of yawning early there. We were there pretty much for first lift up. Very overcast on our first day. So when we got to the top of the gondola, you want to head to the Stoke chair. So you'll do it's a good warm-up run to get you to the bottom of Stoke, which will take you to the top. So seeing how it was snowy, overcast, our idea was to head to the Ripper chair area to get into the glades, because visibility at the top was just not great. So to get there from the top of Stoke, you have to go across the mountain to the bottom of the Ripper chair. And right from a first run, we could just get a taste of all this powder that Revelstoke is so known for. It's kind of a view up at the separate reality bowl. That was a little too scary for us. First run, first day, and with the low visibility, we wanted to head to the trees. So after you cut across the mountain, you're going to get to the bottom of Ripper and head up, and you can pick either side. There's glades on either side, so you can't really go wrong. You can start getting creative with your lines here in the glades. A lot of space between the trees, so it's perfect for intermediates. just have fun with that snow. Get after it. And then, after a big day, hit up that hot tub back at the hotel. So the second day was pretty overcast too, but this third day, the sun started to poke out, and by a little later on the day, the visibility was great. So we started to, hit the big groomers off the Stoke chair and see if we could get the courage to hit the North Pole. This may not look that steep just because of the video, but I can assure you this is quite steep. So these are the glades off the Stoke chair, which are really fun, pretty reasonable, not too scary. Just don't get clotheslined by a branch on your GoPro like I did. Okay, back up at the top of the Stoke chair, it was time to decide, gonna do the North Pole. So getting to the North Pole requires a hike from the top of the Stoke chair. Take yourself over the ridge. So just follow the tracks. So I strapped in right before you cross over to the North Pole, and there's a thin little pathway where you can decide where you want to actually drop in. And pick your spot and drop in. There's a ton of snow, it was pretty heavy, so do the best you can and make sure you keep speed to ride out of the bowl. Some absolutely amazing views when you're in this North Pole area, so definitely try to take it all in while you're there. It's awesome. So it kind of funnels you into this little tunnel area, which there was a lot of ice. It was a bit weird. This was probably the most challenging part of the North Pole, is kind of getting out of it. Once you finally get spat out, you'll make your way down to the bottom of the Ripper chair. And then they have these warming huts, which are great to have a little snack and recharge. Alright, after conquering the North Pole, we just hit some more groomers. Enjoyed the remainder of the day. So, in the end, is Revelstoke good for intermediates? Yes, absolutely. Probably not for beginners, but definitely intermediate. So if you have the chance, if you're lucky enough, get out there.